Also, you are a yes person.
Yes.
Right there. See?
That's how Kyla and I get people to join our antics is we're like, hey, you're a part of this now.
Welcome to the chaos. We almost died. We're so glad you're here. Don't arrest us.
Can I ask, were you sober?
Yes. We were almost always 100% sober because I was really anti-drinking and driving.
Right. Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Because look where you end up when you're sober. Welcome back to Living Magic with Catherine Middlebrooks.
Hi.
And who are you?
My name's Kyla Jenkinson.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
And today we are going to be talking about close calls. And to do that, we're bringing a special guest on. So we're going to bring her on right now.
Okay, bring her.
There she is.
Oh, she's so fancy.
Look
Look
at
at her little fancy face. Well, hi.
I am a business person.
Professional fancy face.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. We did a little dance party right before you came on, and that did not allow us time to talk about any of the things we were going to talk about before because we had some problems with the sound. So, yeah, you can wiggle it out.
I've listened to the podcast. I know how y'all roll.
And
I think it was your idea to do a dance party.
Yes.
it was. The last time we did it, we had a really great show that we haven't edited yet, but I think it was our best one yet.
Yes.
It's so nice to meet you, Paige.
It's nice to meet you too. Yay. I feel like I know you though.
Same.
Because I've watched the podcast.
I've just heard stories about you, so that's how I feel like I know you.
All close call stories.
Close call stories. That's why I'm here.
Well, you're also here because you're magic.
I am magic. You're magic. I was thinking about that though. Here's the thing, like our friendship worked because we matched each other's vibe whenever possible. Do you know what I mean? And like that was the magic is we could always like I was explaining this to my daughters yesterday because I have one daughter who matches my vibe and one daughter who thinks I'm stupid. And I'm like, it's so much more fun to match vibes, man.
You should really try it. You should really try vibe matching. I know, because also you are a yes person.
Yes.
Right there. See?
See, you got excited about it. You're like, truth be told. And that's the other thing is I would be like, I have an idea. Just like this show, because I contacted you in the end of the day yesterday to be like, so how about you come on our show tomorrow?
I tried to say no.
But you can't. It's not in your heart, especially not to me. So yes, it was. Anyway, we are going to get started with talking about what we're talking about today, which is close calls. And this wasn't,
Do we need to introduce Paige?
of course we do.
I think that's a good idea. You go ahead.
Way to keep us on track there.
Slow it down. Slow it down.
Before you go forward, go backward.
I require no introduction.
It just felt like you kind of slid right in, you know? Okay. Paige and I were introduced by her grandmother when we were quite young, but we have a picture. I actually was going to look for it but my house is under construction, so it was not going to happen. It's in a box somewhere. But it was of us licking popsicles in her as like 5-year-olds. And I've had it forever in this frame, and I just took all my frames off the wall on the shelves, so now it's in a box. But that was when we were first introduced, and then she moved from California to Ignacio, Colorado, and first you went to Bayfield, and then you came to Ignacio when we were in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
She felt very clingy at first, like I don't like to be touched. Just stop touching me so much. But she like that might be your love language. Is that your love language?
Yes.
Physical touch. Yeah. And so, like always on my shoulder, leaning in. It was very different for me. Like most of my friends were not so clingy. It wasn't that she was clingy. It was just like she liked to be next to me a lot. And then we went bowling one time. Her mom took us bowling and she got a good bowl and we went to high five each other so hard and completely missed, like aired the high five. And in that moment, I was like, we really are a match made in heaven. And from then on, it was like, no question, lean away. You can cuddle me if you want to. How can I be of service to you?
I love your perspective on that story because like I was just like junior high, desperate for friends. And I was like, this hot blonde girl lives right down the street from my grandma. And both my grandmas, actually maternal and paternal. And she kept telling me that we had met, and I was like, you're cute, whatever. Like, we had not met before. And she finally found the photo. It was a meet cute of us eating popsicles with both of our siblings in a cornfield at my grandma Rennie's like trailer on 10 acres of land. We're rural. And but anyways, I just freaking loved Kyla from day one. But I was like, you move to a new school and you're like, who's gonna be my bestie? Who's gonna be my bestie? I think when we high-fived and missed, Kyla decided you're gonna be my bestie, and I had no choice moving forward. Like that was where we went.
But I have to just say, you were really like, look, I'm not into like labels of the best friend because that's gone wrong for me. I don't like to use best friend. So look, I will be your best good buddy.
Best good
I was
buddy.
like, I'll take it.
Yeah. And before we tell this story, we were raised in the 90s and we talked like Beavis and Butthead a lot, like
A
a lot.
lot. Those characters really resonated with us big time.
I was Butthead.
I almost went into character just then, and then I couldn't remember my tune.
No, that's Butthead. You were like I feel like I'm never going to score guy.
Yeah, they did feel that way. Okay, so that's a good introduction. Is there anything else you want to add, like what you do now
I live in Montana. I moved to Montana, which disappoints Kyla every time we talk.
every day?
I was thinking about it. The last time I saw you was in Arizona. It was when you joined us at that Airbnb. You're like, you're 8 hours away. I'm driving to you. But I am an HR consultant, so I deal with people all day long. I have two beautiful daughters that are about Kyla's son's age, so we're planning marriages.
Marriages.
Life, yes. And yeah, I've lived in Montana since 2003, so I almost feel like I'm a Montanan now. But I am very tall, and so I fit in a little better up here. Coloradans are very short.
Just keep telling yourself that, Paige.
I've never noticed that fact about Colorado's.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, for our conversation today, close calls. How was this inspired? Today, not today, 2 days ago, while driving and chatting with Catherine on the phone and telling her it is now illegal to hold your phone, even if you're not using it, but you're just holding it. So I was like, so you're just through the car speaker. Sorry if it's bad. She's telling me the story. And meanwhile, this deer runs out in front of me, makes eye contact with me right before I don't kill it. Not even kidding. And she's going on with her conversation. I was like, she has no idea. I almost died. Not really, but I almost killed something with my car. And it totally gave me the don't kill me today vibe, you know? So I was like, that's a close call. So once she got done telling her story, I said, I almost hit a deer in a really calm voice, even though my stomach had gone into my throat. But that inspired our, hey, let's talk about close calls. And then I was like, oh, I have many stories of close calls, mostly with my friend Paige.
Well, and did she tell you this, Catherine? When she called, she goes, "The podcast is about close calls. Can you guess?" And I was like, "Well, there's a lot. But was it this one?" And she was like, "Yep, that's it."
She didn't, she told me that she was going to call you and you would know. And she also was like, and I cannot tell you what it is before you listen. So I'm very excited to hear the
Oh,
story.
you're coming in blind. Okay, we might have built it up too much.
No,
That's okay.
never.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Okay, so because we're rural, this is post high school.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was post high school. It was like we're footloose and fancy free at the end of, I think, our summer break from our first year of college. We're both home. I drive a white Nissan Altima that used to be my grandmother's. Both of us really liked hanging out with a group of friends who liked to four wheel. So I really liked four wheeling. And just to be clear, Nissan Altimas are not four-wheel drive vehicles.
No, nope.
No. So Paige and I are out for a joyride one evening, just cruising around. And I was like, oh, let's go up this hill, up kind of by this graveyard and we cruised through and I was like, what's that road?
Well, wait. Let me tell you first my perspective because Kyla
Okay.
lives down the road from me. She calls me. Summer is in the air. Let's go for a drive. Where are we going? Doesn't matter. Magic is happening. And so I don't know if you remember this, but we had our arms out the window, just like catching the breeze. And I remember there was the dandelions with the magical kind of things that float in the air. So we had our windows down, and you were like, just absorb it all, Paige. This is so amazing. We're having this like magical drive. So we had no agenda other than a magical drive.
Mhm.
So back to where we were cutting in, and I said, turn wherever you want to, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just matching her vibe. She is like feeling the weather, she's feeling the change of season.
Oh.
And I was like, who cares where we go? And well, I think you said that, Kyla. And I said, yeah, let's go. And so we were turning very randomly with no agenda whatsoever. I was trusting because I can't find my way around the block. I was trusting Kai knew where she was going. No. So
No, no, I had no idea. I forgot that it was spring because it was raining and muddy.
Because can we talk about Kyla in spring too? In spring, she's like a different animal.
yeah, yeah, this was what we were experiencing. And imagine being like that. We were still in our teens. We weren't even in our 20s. And so we were like, invincible, like nothing bad will happen. If we manifest that something good is going to happen, something good will happen. And we were just turning. I do remember having our arms out the window and you're like, this is it. This is spring. This is what's happening, Paige. She was just like manifesting good vibes the entire drive. And she's like, let's just get lost somewhere. And so
Yep.
that's where we were. Do you even know when you do that?
Clearly, I don't remember that. And
I
Catherine will tell you that she has to be my memory most of the time. But I'm really glad that that's how you remember it. That I've lost a little of that in myself. We'll talk about that later. You have to listen to the podcast about Crystal.
know.
But that's a very Crystal state of mind.
So Crystal. Crystal was out to play that day.
Um, anyways, so my dad used to say, I can't believe how smart they are individually, but you put them together and it like wipes out all their brain power. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But here's the example. So we turned down the road, this, I was like, oh, it's a dirt road. I wonder where this goes because we're on an adventure. Okay. It was like a road that went to nowhere, the road to nowhere. So as we're going down it, I start to think, I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. We should probably turn around. Well, there's nowhere to turn around. It's on a cliff. It's on a cliff. And there's a road that goes to nowhere and you can't turn around. So then it's like, okay, I'm going to have to reverse up this road. Oh,
Oh.
wait. No, that's not what happened. You can
I've
intervene.
been thinking about this, Kyla. I think well, number one, just to give you a full picture, it's a drainage road that went up
Oh,
that cliff right across from what used to be the Red Lion Hotel. So there's the Animas River, there is the side of a mountain, and then midway up the side of the mountain is a Nissan Altima taking a magical
Oh
spring
my
drive.
God. As a parent, when you like hear this too, it's like,
no, it's
oh,
the
okay.
worst.
So I
So,
would like to say I was out of the car, Kyla,
not
because,
yet. You weren't out yet.
okay.
Okay. So then I decide I can't really reverse. I didn't feel comfortable and I wanted to try a 50-point turn to get the car turned around.
Like an Austin Powers turn. You know,
Yes.
Worse.
Okay. So I get out, I get out, I get out, and then I can't move anymore. And I'm like, Paige, I think you need to get out and see what's going on to direct me. So she gets out. Paige, you can go from there.
I would like to say I was on the driver's side of the car because that would make me look more intelligent. But there is a possibility that I was on the passenger side of the car being like, pivot, pivot. And so I was guiding her, and my memory is of being on the passenger side, but that would not bode well for me. So let's say I was on the driver's side.
I remember you also on the passenger side, just if we're going to do accurate storytelling.
So I was pivoting her. I want to say you tried to turn around like forward, backwards, probably 10 times.
At least.
And I look down and I hear a bit of a commotion. A waiter from the Red Lion restaurant had literally sprinted out. This is the before cell phones, sprinted out of the back door of the restaurant, crossed the bridge from the Animus, and sprinted up, straight up the hill. And this is a very steep hill. And I just remember him with his hands on his knees, and he's like, "Stop, stop right now." And we were like, "What? What's wrong?" And he's like, "You're about to fall off the cliff." And so we walk around to the passenger side or to the other side, and the tires completely dangling off.
We're teetering.
Yeah, teetering. We had
Oh,
an audience, and it just wasn't visible from the side I was seeing. Again, we're going to stick with that story that I couldn't see the dangling because, and I just remember him saying, "I'm a smoker. I'm so exhausted. I can't even talk right now." And he's like, "I've already called the police or a tow truck or something."
Oh, he called the police. They thought we were trying to commit suicide
oh my
from the
God.
restaurant.
And
Uh-huh.
then somehow he disappeared, right? The cops showed up and then he was like gone. I was like, "Thanks, mystery smoker man. Like, I appreciate your help."
Or was he an angel?
He might have been. He might have been. But Kyla and I,
The cops come.
yes, the cops come and they are like so judgmental of us.
Well, let's hang on. My memory is they come and we run up to them and give them a big hug. I did that, at least.
That's how Kyla and I get people to join our antics, is we're like, "Hey, you're a part of this now."
Welcome to the chaos. We almost died. We're so glad you're here. Don't arrest us.
Like you had, it might have been that we were dangling on the driver's side because I feel like you had to crawl out the passenger side to actually get out. Like it was hairy. Like we were definitely
Oh,
dangling.
yeah, that was Harry.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I kind of remember them being like, what are you doing underneath the car? Were you like down trying to push it back?
Can I ask, were you sober?
Yes. We were almost always 100% sober because I was really anti-drinking and
Right.
driving.
Yeah, it's a terrible
So,
idea. Because look where you end up when you're sober.
because if you can do enough damage sober, there is no need to add alcohol.
Wait, so were you under the car, Paige?
I was like, just push it, not realizing like my side was 2 feet off the ground.
It's
Just
within
push it,
the realm of possibilities that I was around or under the car.
which is why the guy was yelling, stop, please stop before the car falls on you. Just saying.
It was kind of like teetering, like, yeah. And so we had gotten out, we're standing off to the side, and we like tried to hug the police officer, which is against their regulations, especially girls who are questionably under or over 18. So we tried to bring him in, and he wasn't amused at all. He wasn't amused with our antics, and we revert to like, this is what I do remember is we reverted to like a Beavis and Butthead, like, "So, do you come here often?" And we were just nervous, joking the entire time while the policeman lectured us. And and I remember sitting in the back seat because it got cold. Didn't it start raining?
It started raining really bad,
Oh
and we
God.
had to call tow truck drivers, and it took two tow truck drivers in the rain to get my car out. But we knew one of them from high school, Troy. And Troy stayed the longest and charged us only $200 to probably do a like $1,000 tow bill. And that was that. And then we drove home and I dropped Paige off at her house. And I had to say to my mom, so I have a bill to pay. It's not a big deal. Everybody's fine.
What I remember is you were like, "We are going to do everything in our power not to tell my mom."
Oh, is that how that goes? Again, with the memory.
You were like, "Don't tell your mom because I don't want my mom to find out." And I was like, "Okay." So I had to come home and just be like, "Hi." And my parents were like watching TV and they were like, "Where were you?" I was like, "Just for a drive." And they're like, "Cool, see you later, good night," or something like that. And I went upstairs and I was just like, "Oh shit, that was pretty close." So
Maybe I never told them.
I don't think you did because
How'd
I
you
think,
pay the bill?
I don't
yeah,
know how I paid the bill, but I don't think I told them. That would make sense now, actually. Yeah.
you hid those things because you were like, "My parents are going to kill me." And I was like, "Well, if we need money, we can call my parents because my parents were a little bit easier." And so, but yeah, I remember. Here's another memory I have. We got to sit in the back of the cop car and we were so terribly uncomfortable. They had holes in it. So if you had handcuffs, you could sit there with the hole in the back seat. And so you and I were cracking up because we had to sit like this in the back seat with the holes so that we had to pretend that we were handcuffed sitting back there. And it smelled like puke. Like it was disgusting in the back seat of the cop car for sure. And we were just cracking up about it. And Troy was making fun of us, our little friend from high school. And we're like, so, do you like being a tow truck driver? Like, will you give us a discount?
I think he did.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hugged him too.
See, magic. Lots of hugs.
Discount, no death, so magic.
So magic. So much magic was happening that day.
Restaurant working, smoker.
I can't
Angels.
believe he thought we were going to commit suicide. That was a magical day. And never at one point, Catherine, were we scared. Like the cop
No,
was like, you could have died very easily. And we were like, really? So
because we were
We were like,
teenagers.
no, we couldn't have. No, we weren't even close.
You need to meet our angels. They have been taking care of us like at least 18 years, maybe 19.
he could have been because I have no idea where he left. He never said goodbye. I do remember kind of checking him out. Like I was like, is he cute or is he not cute? Like, what's the situation here? Like that's how unconcerned I was with the fact that
Like, oh, a new guy. Maybe I want to meet him.
we were single and ready to mingle, I feel like.
Paige brought up a good point yesterday, though. Thank the good Lord that there was not phones, video cameras
We
during
would have been viral. Viral.
in a
Like
bad
dumb
way.
teenagers driving up a drainage road. Like I remember talking to someone and they're like, that's not a road. That's a drainage road. That's not meant to like because it was really soft. It's what we would call deep conditions on my car right now. And that's why we kind of got stuck. We couldn't turn around because we were like stuck in the gravel. So yeah, it
Oh,
was a good time.
terrifying.
Catherine, I want to hear about your close call.
Well, mine is a similar time frame of life. I think I was 20 and my brother was 5 years older than me and I was home for college. I was staying with my mom in Connecticut. My brother was an adult who had a job in New York City and he had this white Jeep that he loved, but he couldn't have it in New York City because you have to pay like $1 billion for parking. So he was parking it at my mom's house and he was like, you can use it for the summer and you can drive it to whatever your job is or whatever, just use it. And I was like, great, cool. It was this super cool white Jeep. And everywhere I went in it, I got free stuff. I got free parking. I got through tolls free. Like people were just like, oh, this cute girl in this white Jeep. And I felt like I could do anything. And I messed it up so many times. Like one time, it had an open top and it was a lot of work to close it. So I almost never did. He had this radio that he had custom installed, and you had to like take the radio out because people could just steal it. So you would take it with you, but there was a control panel that it attached to, and I pulled it out and it was laying horizontal instead of vertical. And there was this like gigantic rainstorm, and I hadn't closed it up. So the radio got busted, the car was like flooded. So my brother was like always mad at me about the way that I was treating this car. Anyway, the close call is one day I had been, I don't know, to the gym or something. And I was driving back on the highway, feeling myself in this Jeep. It was like good weather. I had a CD player in it and I had CDs that were on the passenger seat, but I had stopped and they had slid down onto the floorboard. And I was like, well, I really want to listen to this other CD. So I'm going to like lean over and grab that CD. The stupid, again, you're like 20 years old. You're like, that's fine. I can do that. I'm on a highway where cars are driving 65 miles an hour. And I'm leaning over. I like completely go away from watching the road to get the CD. And as I'm doing it, I hear my name spoken so clearly, like Catherine. And it like jolted me up. And as I sat up, I saw that I was about to crash really fast into the car in front of me. Like traffic had just stopped and I was about to slam into it. And I would have slammed into it in this like super awkward position that would have really messed me up. So I like sat up, slammed on the brake, and stopped like inches before I slammed into it. And what I remembered of that was the voice because it was the voice of my grandfather. Like it was so obviously my grandfather calling my name, and he had passed away like maybe 4 years earlier. Um, and I was so thankful that I didn't get into an accident, but I also was thankful that I didn't bust my brother's car yet again.
Magic.
Magic. That
Love
was
it.
magic. That was like the first time where I was like, I just heard a voice and it saved my life.
Mm, that is
Crazy.
crazy. And I'm
Mhm.
so glad that you're here because honestly, like you might not be. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like that
know.
even super, but yes, magic. I love it.
Same, you guys too, because you could have fallen off of a cliff.
We had
I
no
know.
knowledge that we were in danger though. The
Close calls, girls. Close calls.
Idiotic children that we were.
Paige, thank you so much for being on. We're going to
Oh,
have you back to talk about other magic things, so just you
Please.
wait.
anytime. Bye. Love
Bye,
you.
Bye.
love you.
Thank you.
Okay. What we forgot to do.
Is enter the vortex.
Okay, well, this is probably not what you thought. Ready? One, two, three.
Oh, that wasn't what I thought. Because I
Yeah,
have the benefit of editing and I see how you repeat glasses.
I know. It's kind of like I still like these the best.
I think the pink ones, the pink bow ties are used the most for you. Okay, so I think those are cool stories. And I do think that people are looking out for us.
People are totally looking out for us.
Thank God.
But those are two very obvious lookout stories.
Yes.
Close calls.
You like actually had people looking out for you. Yes.
Well, that and just, that was especially in your teenage years. I think you keep your angels real active.
I was just reading, I'm reading that book that Whitney suggested for us, that Whitney Lamb suggested for us. And it says that when you are a teenager, you get like extra angels because you're stupid.
And that makes so much sense.
It makes so much, you get a lot when you're a toddler, like two, and you're like falling all over the place. And then they're like, okay, we're good. You just get your regular set of angels. And then when you're a teen and learning to drive, and like those few years, you get a lot more. And then again, your regular team. And then if you have like various things come up in your life, but those are periods of your life where you really need them. Okay, do we want to share magic from this week? I have to think of something. Okay, I
Hmm.
got one. I got one.
Okay, go.
Okay, this one, it doesn't really feel that magical, but I think when I actually think about it, I'm like, okay, that actually is. So my children are born in October and early January, which means that from October until January, I feel stressed out. Just true. Like I do because it's like birthday, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, birthday. Like it's just this period. It's like a quarter of the year where I'm constantly like planning for the next activity. And kids' birthday parties, especially, are very stressful for me because being in charge of other people's kids, I don't like it. And my son's birthday party happened this past weekend. And for the first time, I think in eternity, and really actually for my daughter's birthday this year too, I was able to enjoy it. And I think that's because the kids are older. So I'm not like they're going to die under my care, you know? Um, but I think also I just am like caring less about everything. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. They're going to have fun. It's going to be good. And rather than feel like, I have to do all these things, I paid to just have somebody else do the party, basically, like go to a place and rent it. And I think that I'm recognizing that I needed support in that way for these birthday parties. And it allowed me to actually just enjoy my kid having fun with his friends. And I sort of left and I was like, that was a great birthday party. Like, because it really was. It was at a Ninja Warrior
Hmm.
course. They were doing all sorts of
Wow.
cool, fun things. Yeah. Um, and I was like, oh, maybe this is a turning point and I don't have to feel so burdened at this time of year. So that feels a little magical. If it could feel less heavy. Because there's sometimes I'm like, I just wish we didn't even have to do the holidays, which I don't want to feel like that. And I think the more I can shift my mindset to just show up and enjoy it, the better. Is that magic?
Agreed.
A little bit.
It's magic.
It's lame. I want to be like, I saw this magic thing happen, but no, it was a birthday party. It's real life, living magic.
Living magic, real life. I feel like over the holidays this year, over that same section, because I have a November birthday, December, and then all the, Thanksgiving, all the things. Um, have been trying really hard to stay focused in enjoy this experience here and now in case it's not going to be here and now later. And it's been instead of assuming that it's always going to be repetitive, same place, same thing, it's like experience it like it's going to be your last time experiencing it here. And I've really been enjoying it a whole lot more. I don't know why I have to phrase it like that to make myself realize that that could be true at any time.
Well, I think
But
that no, I think that that's such a good point. And I've heard people say that you really to like live life to the fullest, you really don't know when it's your last moment doing anything. And so you should really try to approach every moment as if this could be the last time I do this. It does make everything fresher and better.
seems like it
It's less of a
there's
slog.
a reason people say that, right?
Yes. And it's hard when you feel like you're on this like my husband we took out the Christmas decorations to put up the tree and he's not super festive about it. And the words that came out of his mouth, he like laughed about them immediately, but he was like, "Oh, it's a circular nightmare." Where it's like you just doing it over and over and over, like every year. We like put the cute Christmas music on, took out the tree, and he was like, "Oh, circular nightmare." Which then to him yesterday, as I was making dinner, I was like, how about this circular nightmare? That one happens once a year. This happens
Ooh,
every
every
single
single
day.
day. Oh, I know. That's like the
Because
joke that I just told you about. The thing that popped up about I just want to know what it's like to be a man and have your toothpaste be
I,
empty and then suddenly appear full.
I know
Magic.
these fantasies.
So
I
magic.
had the fantasy right before Christmas. I was like, what would it feel like if one year we just didn't do Christmas? And it was like, oh, feel into that. How does that feel? It's like, oh, I'm such a Scrooge. But oh, wouldn't that feel like a whole month would feel different to me?
I don't even know what my life would do with that information. It's like, wait, it's kind of like when there's not snow at Christmas for me. It
Like, this isn't
almost feels like
Christmas.
it didn't happen. And then
Right.
it'll snow and I'll be like, when's Christmas?
Yeah.
Wait, we did dry Christmas this year.
Not
You
dry
know?
January, dry Christmas.
Dry
Yeah.
Christmas.
That's the reality. The reality is it's hard. You are in a lot of circular nightmares as a parent. And the more you can, I don't know, it's sort of like both of those examples are like, okay, taking a sort of different approach to the circular nightmare that you're living to make it feel more fun and easy.
I feel very much grateful for all of the stuff that I get to do. And I need to remind myself of that more,
I know.
you know?
I know. Yes, all of these things, a birthday
All of
party,
these things.
Christmas, luxuries that we are so fortunate to have.
Yeah.
And it is
And
easy to feel burdened by them.
yes. So not doing Christmas actually sounds amazing. Like saying, we are not going to get any presents at all. We are going to vacation,
The
and that is
present
our
to
present.
mom is that
Yeah.
Christmas doesn't happen.
Okay,
Okay,
should we leave the vortex?
I think so. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, so nice to see you again.
okay. Well, that was great. One more takeaway about close calls. I've been reading this book that Whitney recommended to us, and it just is like, just remember to ask your angels to help you. Like when you're going on a trip, when you have something happening, when you are trying to get your kids somewhere, like just ask for help and let it be easier. And I think that that is such a good reminder for myself to like, you don't have to do it all alone. There is a lot of support in the universe for you.
Yeah, that takes some of the overwhelm off of it.
Hmm. Yeah. All right.
All
You
right.
know what you need to do?
Hitch my wagon to a rainbow.
Yes.
Well, you need to hitch your wagon to a rainbow too.
Hitch all of our wagons to rainbows, and then we will lower our expectations and raise our
And therefore,
vibrations.
raise them.
You yelled so loud that it cut you off. You have to say it again.
Raise the vibration.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. Have a great day.